Hope your lunch is going well. Hope your Monday's going well. Hope you made it safe and sound through the storms. Obviously, many areas in our listening audience impacted by the severity of the storms happening throughout the course of Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, to include Clarksville, to include Madison, and, of course, to include Hendersonville. One of the moments that I remember most clearly during our 5 hours of broadcast on Saturday afternoon was the moment that we had an individual tell us that the tornado was going down Main Street in Hendersonville, going down Johnny Cash Parkway, which frightened the hell out of me, considering that we know how many residences there are just off of Johnny Cash Parkway. We know the amount of businesses that are there. And we pray that no one was injured, and it's our understanding that no one in Hendersonville experienced loss of life. To that end, to talk about what cleanup effort is going on right now and what more we can do to help, we welcome to the program Mayor Jamie Clary of Hendersonville to the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Mayor, I hope you're doing as best as can be considered this Monday in the aftermath of the storms. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. I haven't eaten a meal outside my car in the past 2 days, and I've been driving around a ton, but people have it a lot worse than I do. Like you mentioned, fortunately, we had no major injuries, and for the most part, what we have for damage in Hendersonville is replaceable.
So give us a sense of the areas, for those of us who understand Hendersonville like we do. I mean, we've all been there. We've seen the beauty of your community. What was the path of damage as you know it this afternoon, Mayor?
So West Main Street, as you're coming into town from Davidson County, just a little bit up from there, was the first area that got hit. If you think of Biker's Choice, if you think of the Goodyear shop, if you think of you think of the gun store there, a New Shackle Island Road that got hit. New business, Big Play Entertainment Center, which is a place you take families and go hang out and spend some money and have your kids be occupied for a little while. That place had just opened up, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not a place at this point that can be rebuilt. It probably have to be it'll probably have to be replaced. Really, is what's going to happen.
Right.
The tornado sort of bounced up from there and then came down right at the intersection of Walton Ferry and Gallatin Road. Went through there. Cash Saver is right there. Then we've got a U-Haul there, and that's where it went through the neighborhood that got hit the hardest. Unfortunately, it depends how you look at it. Most of the damage was in businesses that were closed on a Saturday evening. So that's the reason that we had so few injuries. At Big Play, they had several dozens of people in there that were trapped for a little while. They all got out. But as the tornado went east from there, it's when it hit that neighborhood, Clearview Circle. And we've got 10 to 20 houses that will have to be demolished. And we've got a house that doesn't have a second floor anymore. Several houses without roofs, several houses with significant damage that just won't be able to be rebuilt. They'll have to be replaced. From there, it then hit over in the Bluegrass section of town, hit several businesses right there, hitting Bluegrass Country Club. Again, places that didn't have a lot of activity on a Saturday evening. So the damage was great, but the injuries are small.
Well, I mean, obviously, Mayor, we're thankful that the injury list is fairly short out of Hendersonville and that there were no fatalities. We know that this was a storm that is and was a killer in Madison, so we're thankful for that. What's your best advice for folks who want to help? How can they assist you? I was just looking on the map as you were talking, and it looks like, are there portions of Main Street that are still closed down to through traffic?
So just today we have everything open. Yesterday we still had some portions that were closed, and then we had some portions that were open for a time and then closed for a time. We really were fortunate that so many people just stayed home yesterday, but we know that we still have about 3,000 people without electricity, and they need to get out and get lunch because at this point we're getting close to 48 hours without refrigeration for them. So we get that they need to get out. We just need people to be patient if they're going to go out. All our roads are open-ish. NES and Carmel Electric are still working, so there might be closures temporarily in some spots. So we need people just to be patient if they have to go out is what we really need. And you asked, I guess bigger picture, what is it people can do to help? We are working on a volunteer day this Saturday and Sunday. And so if they could keep an eye at the city's Facebook page, the city's website, also the United Way's page, That's something that we're going to coordinate probably this weekend. Of course, we're going to look at what the weather's going to be like this weekend to make sure that we can have a cleanup day safely.
Are you in need of anything in particular right now? Many folks want to know how they can give and what they can give, and you mentioned some locations where they can go and find out additional information. United Way is a good place, and we've got one. We've got a locator published on 997WTN.com's website. But is there anything specific? Is there any specific need, water, any of those other types of resources?
Well, thank you for that first. So we're blessed since we're right next to the lake, and Hendersonville Utility District always has pallets of bottled water ready for us. So that's not really a need we have. We have had a lot of people drop off some, so we're more than plentiful with bottled water. We've had a lot of food trucks that have come out to help us out and give out free meals to the folks that don't have electricity. Probably the next great need we have is we're gonna start raising money for employees of those businesses, as well as some of the residents that got hit. It dawned on us that a lot of those businesses, they're probably going to be made whole with insurance and probably reopen and even be made whole as far as the revenue they missed out on. But you've got employees that they're not going to get paid. They're not going to get paid for a couple weeks, if not a couple months, right at Christmas time. And so we're looking at something we can do for those employees as well as the residents of Clearview Circle. But quite easily, we have 120 to maybe 200 employees that just got unemployed. So we're looking at what we can do for them. The cash donations are obviously helpful, but if people want to come and help out on our volunteer days, like I said, probably this weekend, that's a way they can help, especially people with chainsaws, especially people with pickup trucks or trailers, because we want to do our best to get rid of the tree limbs as quickly as possible, because quite honestly, we have a lot of piles of tree limbs that sort of make some streets a little bit unsafe, and we don't want that lingering for a couple weeks.
You know, we were in the midst of weather coverage Saturday, so it's difficult to know what everyone else was doing during a time where we were in the thick of it as well at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But I understand, I feel like I've gotten in front of myself a little bit. What was your individual experience like, Mayor? And how long did it take you to get out? And do you have an assessment on how you feel like Hendersonville emergency response did, or have you had a chance to kind of do that postmortem yet?
So we're still working on that postmortem. We had a meeting with all of our staff, and one of the things that strikes me about that, with our senior staff, one of the things that strikes me about that is a lot of time when you talk about first responders. In this situation, our first responders were fire and police. But there's also our public works guys that were cutting up tree limbs just immediately while still in the rain, literally still in the rain. And then it's our codes guys. It's our codes enforcement officers who are going out and checking buildings and letting people know within hours of damage to their building whether or not that building is safe or not. And that includes houses. And that's hard because you've got people that are telling residents you can't stay here, and that's their house. That's really, really hard. But the way that we responded, especially our staff, is just immediate. We also, and it gets a little bit off track here, but quickly, I got phone calls from the mayor of Nashville, the mayor of Gallatin. They have provided help. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, they have provided help. Tennessee Highway Patrol. I joked with somebody today that I've never been so excited to see a highway patrol officer behind me. It's because they were coming to help us direct traffic. To give you a sense of what it was those first 24 hours, we had no operating traffic signals on Gallatin Road. So the fact that so quickly we had other mayors reaching out to provide us help and to send us police officers that could direct traffic, that was huge. Because so many of the 15 traffic signals we have on Gallatin Road, major intersections, you need 3 and 4 officers to handle the traffic direction at that point. So, like I said, very quickly we had folks that were reaching out to help, and it was almost overwhelming, but we found a way to put them to use.
Jamie Clary is with us. He is the mayor of Hendersonville, talking about the results of the storm from Saturday night, cleanup efforts from yesterday, and those cleanup efforts are ongoing today. Obviously, we're going to try to spend some money in your neck of the woods, Mayor, very soon, because I know that those businesses appreciate it. I know your city appreciates it. What more can we do for you? What else do we need to know that I haven't asked you about? Anything?
So there's a couple of things that I don't want people to do. Is I don't want people to come into West Main Street. I don't want people coming down Gallatin Road if they're just going to look. I hate to say that because it seems sort of ungrateful, because I know a lot of people that are coming to look might be coming to help as well. But It's patience more than anything else, and then do exactly what you just said. Come spend some money at those businesses, because it's going to take some time and an awful lot of sweat from those business owners. So many of those business owners that are affected, they're not franchises, and they're not managers. They are the owners, and they're local people, and so the capital resources that they have, and it's not what a lot of businesses that they have. And so they're going to struggle, and anything that folks can do to come spend money with them, that'd be wonderful.
While you may have mentioned this, and if you did, I apologize. I'm trying to catch a lot of the information that you're throwing at us in real time. But do you have an assessment as to the number of buildings damaged versus destroyed, or are you waiting for those final? It's been so. I mean, it feels like it was a week ago, but it was just a couple of days ago. Do you have those figures?
So I could tell you that we have, I'll say at least 12 houses that are completely destroyed or will have to be demolished. We have at least 20 businesses that's the case. Now, both of those numbers could triple, and this is why, is some of those houses, we still got to get some trees off them to figure out what's going to happen. And some of those businesses are part of a strip center, and one part of the strip center is useless. But a couple of the businesses that are down, a couple hundred feet, they're going to be okay. It's going to cost them some money to get back up, but they're going to be okay. So we will. So those numbers that I gave you are just going to go up.
Yeah.
And so we're seeing that. We're seeing that. Every couple hours.
Mr. Mayor, get yourself some food that's not, that you're not eating while you're sitting in your truck or your car, okay?
So, yeah, but I appreciate you guys keeping focus on this, because that's what we need, and for people to understand that, yeah, it's newsworthy one day, maybe 2 days, but it's something that people are going to suffer under the effects of for a long, long time. So I appreciate y'all keeping attention to it.
Well, absolutely. It's our pleasure to do so. And let us know if there's anything else we can do or any information you need to get out. You've got our number, and we're here for you, Mayor.
Okay, Val, thank you so much. Val and Matt, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. There's Mayor Jamie Clary joining us from Hendersonville.